What's going on, Wolfman fans? I'm back with another video, and actually this is the first video I've done it here at the house in quite a while. You guys know I've been kind of random with my videos lately, and I apologize for that. You guys deserve better. As I said, it's been kind of a struggle to do some of this lately, just because time constraints, scheduling problems, computer not allowing me to edit videos like I had been in the past. But that's okay. We will press forward and we will continue. We'll continue working on this and trying to make it all work out. So what I wanted to talk about today was, and I told you guys on the last video. Excuse me. I told you in the last video what I wanted to talk about today, and I said I would put it out at some point. I wasn't sure if it was going to be the next day or what, and obviously it turned out it wasn't going to be the next day, but I'm kind of glad it's today because I get a little more time to discuss it. What I was saying was we were talking about a second American Civil War, but I think we would be more on route to a second American Revolution. And what I mean by that is it's a fight against tyranny. I mean, it might start out as a civil war. It could very well. But it would eventually really manifest itself as a revolution. And look, the reason I say that it could really do that, this could really happen, is because let's say Trump did get elected for a second term. These crazies and all the stuff that they have been trying to do to smear Trump's name, make him look bad, and at the same time try to get him out of office somehow, whether it's by impeachment or what. I wouldn't be surprised if there's actually somebody trying to assassinate him. I really wouldn't be surprised. I really hope that isn't going to happen. That's something that should never take place. That's a horrible thing. But I wouldn't be surprised. But with all of that going on, imagine if he got reelected. He came out on top for the 2020 election. Can you imagine how absolutely batshit nuts these people would go? It would be insane. And let's say a Democrat makes it. I'm not saying that nobody on the right's going to lose their mind. I'm sure they will. I'm sure there's some people who are staunchly anti-left, really far right wing that may, that may cause some problems. I'm sure that's a possibility. It's less likely, but it's a possibility nonetheless. What really is going to be the problem is if one of those Democratic candidates gets elected and they actually try to enact some of the policies that they're talking about right now, gun control, reparations, those kind of things. Now, these could very well be talking points, and that's it. It may very well not go any further beyond that, because honestly, statistically, when it comes to presidential candidates talking about the kind of policies that they want to enact when they get into when they get elected, statistically speaking, they really don't really get anything done. And there's a lot of reasons. There's a lot of questions as to why. Is it just because they tried and failed to get it done, or was it even something they were really trying to do? What, for one reason or another, it didn't happen. Actually, Trump's been one of the few presidents in history that has actually kept almost all of his promises. The only promises he hasn't kept is the whole border issue. That's one of the main ones. I don't know why I'm so tired. Anyway, that's one of the main ones that he hasn't been able to, promises he hasn't been able to keep yet, because he keeps getting blocked. There's so many people against him on it. And it's weird that he can't. And it's weird that, you know, he's not getting any more help on it. I don't know. That's off topic. It's another discussion. But anyway, can you imagine one of the Democratic candidates getting into office and actually trying to enact some kind of a sensible gun control bill? Nah. All hell would break loose. And like I said before, you know, they already tried the red flag laws in a couple of places, and it has led to people being killed. It didn't turn out. It was ugly. It went badly. And honestly, look at it. If you want to look at it this way, freaking red flag laws are completely against, besides our Second Amendment, they're against the way our legal system operates. The whole idea of the presumption of innocence until proven guilty. You are basically proven guilty until you are basically presumed to be guilty until you can prove your innocence. That's kind of how those laws work. Someone rats you out, and it doesn't have to be any particular reason. They don't have to have any proof of anything. They can just simply send in an anonymous tip saying that you are a potential threat, you know, to people around you and potentially harmful, or you're mentally unstable, or whatever the case may be on that, and they come and take your weapons away from you without your consent, without warning. They don't present. They don't give you a heads up. They don't present any documentation. They just come to you and say, "Hey, we're taking your guns." And then, let's say you did comply with that, you have to go before a court at a certain whenever the hearing is scheduled, and prove your innocence, and prove that you're not a threat, that you're not a danger to society, and then you may get your guns back. That's if they haven't already destroyed them or otherwise gotten rid of them. You know, that's a dangerous precedent that sets. And can you imagine that on a national scale, but with less restriction on reasons they can take away your weapons? I can already tell you there's a number of people, there will be no questions asked. It'll be open fire, ask questions later. Shoot first, ask questions later. People will get hurt. That's just the way it's going to go. I'm telling you right now. And when the mass majority of people realize that it's the government that's imposing these kind of new laws and new regulations, that's when the true red-blooded American patriots stand up against their government as they're supposed to. That's why we have the Second Amendment. That's why our founding documents are written in the way they are. They're made to where they're written to where we as a people are not supposed to be trampled on by any kind of a governmental power. And if a governmental power gets to where it is too big and too controlling and starts restricting freedoms that have been expressly given to us, not even expressly given to us, freedoms and rights that are inherently ours, given to us only by our Creator, then it is our duty to step up and destroy said governmental power. And that's all there is to it. So you can see the correlation. This is how it starts, and that's how it ends. And it's a huge concern to me, because do you imagine the amount of people that are going to be hurt or killed if such an event takes place? I talked about this with the Second Civil War video. I would love to avoid any kind of conflict like that at all costs, if at all possible. You know, but I'm not going to lie to you. If it was to come to that, I wouldn't hesitate to stand up, because it is my duty as an American to do so. So I don't know how you guys feel about this. I'm just saying, there's a lot of crazy shit going on, and I think we really need to we need to be cautious, and we need to, you know, be checking our six and all that kind of good stuff. And we need to be ever watchful, ever vigilant, because there's some shady stuff going on. And look, the political, you know, end of it, the Democratic candidates and all the crazy talking points that they have, that's just one part of it. That's not even everything. There's so many different levels to this. There's the indoctrination of your children. There's, you know, the exploitation of, what I would say is the exploitation of good-natured people. And what I mean by that is people who care about the environment and stuff like that. And they're being exploited. I'm not going to lie, there's some gullible people out there that are being used to further an agenda. The whole global warming thing, I'm not saying that there isn't environmental concerns, because, you know, sure there are. But the whole global warming argument really boils down to, you know, somebody's making money off of that. And all the people running around the streets, because I've been looking at videos about this. It's insane. They dance, they get out in the middle of the street, block traffic, and dance, and just do weird stuff. I don't know what's going on. And then they openly threaten people who are using cars. People who want to go eat a hamburger, eat a steak, because, I don't know, something to do with the fact that eating meat is, you know, it's bad because it's, you know, it's harmful to animals, but also something about furthering the, you know, meat market and cow farm. I don't know. You see how I'm having trouble trying to correlate those things, because they don't mesh. They don't make sense. But this is the stuff that they're arguing about. You know, your drum circle, vegan, crazy people. But in all honesty, they're good-natured people. They're just being manipulated. You got people like, and I hate to say this, Stephen Fry is he's a famous British comedian, and he's very funny. He's you know, he had his own show with him and Hugh Laurie. He was on Blackadder with again Hugh Laurie and Rowan Atkinson. Very funny guy. He's had his own shows. He's had a very long career, but he's had a hand in the whole prevention of, you know, that climate change thing, and they're trying to carbon emission reductions and stuff, and those kind of protests. He's been involved in that stuff, while at the same time making commercials for London's Heathrow Airport. So making a nice big fat paycheck off of Heathrow Airport, which, you know, not very environmentally friendly. Airplanes, all that good stuff. You see, it's all about money. It's all about fame. It's about keeping us in check. It's about control. You, as a normal, regular, everyday, average man, woman, whatever, they're trying to manipulate and control you. They're trying to get you to give up your power, your control over your own life. When you are 100% dependent upon the government, whatever they say goes. You're bought and owned, man. You're paid for. And that's what they want. They want to control us. How do you control a population that's armed? You really don't. So what do they need to do? Get rid of the guns. Once they've done that, and they're already working on trying to control speech by making a lot of different things that we say they considered hate speech. Stuff that like would never have been considered hate speech in the past. Controlling what content you can see on YouTube or Facebook, whatever social media platform. Maggie May, what is wrong with you? Why are you whining? There's nothing out there. There's just cows out there. Calm down, girl. My dog is being weird. She's just walking around whining for some reason. Nothing going on outside at all. Just some cows across the street. You need to calm down. Give me a shake. Good girl. Anyway, no, it's all about control, and it's about making making you, the average person, whether you're in the middle class or lower class, whatever. It's keeping you down there, and turning over and redistributing your wealth, whatever little bit that you have, to the very upper echelons. The big upper crust people. They already make, they already have tens of millions of dollars to their name, but they need to stay in that position. You're not allowed to have the say, not the smelly underbelly of the civilization. Keep the third world country, keep it third world. Prevent it from industrializing, prevent it from growing. Tear down what we have in the United States, the big free industrial powerhouse that is the United States. Tear down the first world and take that top upper echelon and put them up on their lofty towers, to sit there and look down on the rest of us while we toil in the fields just to make them more money. And then not even be able to crawl out of what little hole we're in. They don't want us to. They want to keep us down here because us being down there keeps them up there. That's what it's about. It's about control. It's about power. But when they become too powerful and they start controlling or attempting to control your life, it's time to take back the control. And that's what I worry about with the 2020 election. They're not going to get their way if Trump gets reelected. I fear that they may do something incredibly drastic. Now, I could be wrong. I could be jumping the gun. But I fear that, after everything we've seen, I feel like they might try to do something crazy. Even more crazy than they already have. And if one of these insane leftist Democrats jumps up there and actually starts to try to enact the policies that he or she is talking about, oh, well, we're kind of screwed, aren't we? We're going to have to fight. There's no two ways about it. And again, it's going to get ugly. It's going to be very serious and very ugly. People will get hurt. People will die. And that's just the truth of the matter. I don't know if any of this, my rambling over the last 20 minutes here can be connected in any good way. If any of you guys can make any sense of it, I really hope you can, because this is just a loose amalgamation of thoughts that have been going through my head. And I'm sure that there's things that I didn't even mention that you guys will come up with. And I'm sure you'll you'll throw it in the comments. You'll say, hey man, you didn't say anything about this. You guys are great about that. And that's awesome. Thank you. I'm glad that's something that you see, and I'm glad it's something you're keeping in mind and you're willing to put it out there for everybody else to see as well. Let's generate that discussion. Let's keep people in the know. Let's keep talking. Let's keep understanding. The more we know, the less defenseless we are. The better armed we are. We're not just armed with weapons, we're armed with our intelligence. We're armed with the truth. Guys, right now and into the next year, from this point on until the next election, it's going to be, we really need to be very watchful. Speak the truth. Spread the word to everybody. Whether that means jumping on YouTube or some other social media platform like I have done, whether it's well edited and well produced, or whether it's just random videos kind of like I do that they're just me on camera. Put the word out. Spread that truth around. Generate discussion. Don't let any of us sit back in the dark in ignorance and just blindly accept whatever, whatever information comes down the pipeline from, whatever major media. We need to be informed. The better informed we are, the better chance we have of surviving. That's all there is to it. So, I've rambled on for long enough. I'm not really going to say whether I hope you enjoyed this video or not, but I really hope it made you think. I really hope it got those wheels turning, and I really hope that you guys take it to heart how serious all this is. It's a lot more serious than a lot of people take it to be. I know that there's some people out there who just go about their lives and they really don't focus on politics. They pay no attention to it, and they're just, quite happy to go along with their lives. And that's fine. But there has to be people out there who do pay attention. And I think that's where we are, myself and you guys here, my subscribers. Anybody if you clicked on this video, you've clearly got something like this on your mind, and now you're curious enough to see what someone else says about it. So this is really serious, guys. It absolutely is. It's not something to be taken lightly. What do you think? Are we on our way to a second Civil War, or even more dangerously, a second American Revolution? What's your opinion on this? I'd love to hear it. As always, I'm here to generate discussion. I'm happy to talk back with you guys. I know sometimes it may take me a minute to respond. Take me up to like a few days to a week or whatever. It just depends on my schedule and what's going on with me. But I love to hear you guys discuss. And please feel free to discuss amongst yourselves. If somebody posts a comment that you want to make a comment, reply to, feel free. It doesn't have to involve me. It doesn't have to be directly related towards me. Feel free to talk amongst yourselves as well. Please stay informed, guys. Keep your head on a swivel. And as always, stay awesome. And we'll see you in the next video. Take it easy.